WASM versus Docker, partner not rival. So first of all, namaste everyone. Hello, ni hao everyone. Where I'm from, joining from doesn't matter. So who am I? So I'm open source DevRel and developer advocate. I'm a Docker captain as well, and I create technical content like educating people about DevOps and open source. So why I choose this topic? So there is also there is a misconception between like is WASM eating Docker or Docker is competing technology with the WASM. So this all conspiracy start with this one of the tweets from Solomon. If you know, Solomon is one of the founders, co-founders of the Docker. So he mentioned like if we have Docker in 2008, we wouldn't have created WASM. But this is half true because when you there's a certain technology launch in the market, it learns from the previous technology, correct? It iterates on the previous technology and it gets better and better. So I think this is what happened with the WASM. It learns the mistake. It learns a lot of things, isolation and this like permission thing from the Docker, and we have like a new thing called WASM. So what is WASM? Like I can get it like there are a lot of beginners and there are a lot of like students. So WASM is a like binary instruction format. So we can run high level code written in like Rust, C++, and like Java and Rust in a browser. So how it makes sense? For example, you have application written in Rust. So you can literally take your Rust application, convert into WASM binary and run it in a browser. But right now what the scenario is like if you're not using WASM, you can only run if you have JavaScript application, correct? The browser engine understands the JavaScript. But with the WASM, you can literally write code in any language, like be it like C++, Rust, and you can run in browser. This is what WASM is unlocking. And the thing is like, I can give you some examples. Like for example, Shopify. If you have ever used a Shopify, there's a theme called, there is a theme in Shopify, and that take a lot of computational power. And that is not possible with Java. It is possible with JavaScript, but a lot of people prefer C++ because algorithms are much more faster in C++. So they have this WASM thing where you change the themes and everything. It works out of WASM. The Figma cloud version works on WASM. And a couple of more examples, like I think AutoCAD and these companies already starting using WASM because those are really bulky applications and it's really hard to do with that JavaScript, and they use WASM to do that. So yeah. So moving ahead, so I said WASM versus Docker. So it's not versus, it's what are their strengths. So we know that Docker package codes better. It's highly portable. You just take an application, create a Docker image out of that, and just ship it. So for example, you ship in multi-architecture image and people can run it anywhere. This is what Docker is for. It completely changed the game. Runtime isolation, we know that Docker separates your host like in like Linux namespace, correct? So runtime isolation, you get the isolation. But what WASM is doing, like good, apart from this like, what to say, Docker, is near native performance. If you're running a browser or using a native app, the speeds are almost similar, like 80 to 90% you're getting the similar speed. Highly security, the WASM use this sandbox environment, which is highly secured. Even for like I/O and different, you need permissions. Quick startup time, compared to like Docker, we have this like cold start. If you heard about cold start, so we have this cold start in Docker. That is also getting fixed by this WASM thing. So it is like, I think ideal would be if we bring all the things together. This packaging code, highly portability, highly security, runtime isolation, near native performance, and quick startup time. This is the ideal solution. And I think this is what Docker is doing at this point. So Docker has this Docker engine, and there's a container D. And this is shim. So what Docker did, they talked with the partners like, different runtime for WASM, like WASM Edge, Spin, and WASM Time. You can see there are 3 runtimes I mentioned. And there's a plug-and-play architecture of shim. You just write shim for that runtime, and you can run any, WASM application depending on your runtime. So we can write shim for different runtimes with this, because now Docker is using container D. Previously, it was not possible. So if we summarize all things, so now what Docker is trying to achieve is like we run the window container and this Linux container, we can also run WASM containers side by side. Another thing is supporting multiple WASM runtime. So the thing with WASM application, different application need different runtime, different kind of runtime. We saw this. So this is where multiple runtime support is there. And all the things like good Docker pull, Docker push, DockerHub, like we create images. And this is example of Docker file. We can literally build like this WASM images, like we create Docker images. So this is what Docker is trying to build, like I think making the process easy for developers. I think that's it. And thank you so much for listening. This is my socials. You can connect, or you can Google me, or either chat GPT me. You will find me there. Thank you so much.